right, good evening. Welcome to Blaine's Escape Corner. How are we doing, everyone? Let's get this popped up. Let's get this where it needs to be. Well, that's not where it needs to be. Let's put you over there. Let's get you in your proper place. All right, proper place, proper place. Make sure I'm on my analytics correctly here. Hello, everyone. Look at you. Popping in chats before I'm even present, we'll say. This should still work for links, so let's get these up. Boom, 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 and X that, and boom there. Alrighty. Alright, almost. Swear I've done this before. Alright. Alright, we got Twitter and we've got Discord posted. Awesome. Alright, alright. Now I feel like we're here. Now I feel like we're ready. E-Class has watched Bubble last night. Daughter wanted to watch it with you. Did she think it was pretty? Did she enjoy it? Because it's definitely nowhere near the show I was hoping it would be. But maybe a child would enjoy it. It just, there were no stakes. There was no, oh no, at any point. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it at any point as I was watching it. So let's get into today's sake. Like I said, I bought some fun sake. What is up, pop culture? Today we are running the Hakushka, specifically the Kuromatsu Hakushka. It's a fresh and light is literally like the name. And I actually pulled up some deets because I figured why not learn while we're drinking, while we're imbibing. So we are running a 70% rice polishing rate, so a decent amount of polish there. Or a decent amount left there, and then a +2, which puts us into the mildly dry portion of the graph. This has been touted as being great for izakaya or pub food, karaage, okonomiyaki, yakisoba, anything that you'll get at a bar. This is your bar food sake. So I'm expecting exactly as it says, fresh and light. I'm expecting dry, nothing too crazy, something that if I had like a fat, greasy food to eat would cut through that. Ooh, actually, there is quite a bit more flavor on that. Quite a bit more of the rice taste to that sake. I like that. That is fantastic. I can taste the rafters of the warehouse in which this is aging. So, kanpai, everyone. Oh, amazing. Amazing. Just realizing that eventually I will have read a manga before it gets an anime, and then it will release and I will get to comment on its faithfulness to the original. Damn, that's weird. It could happen at some point. You could find yourself finding that manga where you're like, man, this is a fun show. I quite enjoy this. And then you see the announcement, you see the tweet, you see the studio leak. You're like, oh, I've read this one. I wonder if it will be faithful, if it'll be any good, if it will be worthy of me watching it. So she had already watched it. Luckily, it was better than I expected because of how much I trash talked it. But it wasn't great, but it was fine. Good animation with an average story. And I disagree on average story. I feel like a story needs some level of stakes. Like there are Disney movies that open up and a potentially major character dies, just ceases to exist. They let us know that there are real stakes in whatever this world is. At no point in Bubble are we given real stakes to be worried about anything. Oh, you can't jump on the bubbles because you're a weirdo, or you're not a weirdo, whichever you may classify it. You can call that out. But if they jump on the bubbles and they fall in the water, the rowboat just shows up and picks them up. Like they're missing a level of stake. Like take a character that everybody kind of hates, let them fall into an antlion pit and get just torn apart or just disappear for the rest of the movie. Give us some level of stakes that says this is dangerous. Because in real parkour, you could get a concussion at any moment. And if you're going to do an anime about parkour, I need some level of this is really difficult, because you're just animating it. You're just drawing it. But I need to see those stakes. That would have made it a good story if they had just taken even some rando character from a different team and said, I'm sorry, rando character, you're going to have to die. Have fun, enjoy your life on the other side, and just let them fall into one of these gravity wells or something. Let us know what the stakes are, and that the stakes are life. Because I never, at no moment did I feel like anybody was really on the verge of losing it throughout the entire series or the entire show. So it again wasn't great, but it's fine. I can get behind that. I just demand a little more, Demand. I just want that little bit more. It doesn't have to be crazy more. Just a little bit. All right. Let's get into the reviews. So, what we watch. So, again, I am watching the dub when it comes to Otome game. Not completed date. I want last updated. There we go. And oh, whoops! I need to pop this one up. Bink. There we go. And it continues to be a heck load of fun. It is a silly show. It is a show that knows it's a weird show. It is an isekai made in the vein of isekai that know it's a weird thing. So let's throw everything we can at them. So we're at a pseudo-European preparatory school that's also having a Japanese-style school festival that's serving tea and having a host club. I was half expecting our protagonist to say, how do you even know what a host club is and why have you made one? So that we start moving into that whole era of, oh, maybe he finds out that the other person is also isekai. We've got the double isekai thing going on. That might be kind of a unique way to go about it. But we didn't get there, so we will say that'll be fine. You have to remember my expectations were super low. Thanks to you. I actually really appreciate that. I will set your expectations in a grounded state. You can never fear on that. Even the most praised anime that I will say how much I love it, I will also say all of the crap that I wish would change or that I think is bad about it. So I will try to always make sure that your expectations when you walk away from a review of mine or an opinion of mine are at a point where if you end up liking it, you're gonna be like, well, I can see how it could be better, but it was good enough. I think I went into it, at a good level. That is my hope, and I'm glad it's working. The system is paying off so far. The host club episode, that's a fun one. Yes, it was a fun one. We meet the queen, who is 30, I guess, and at that age where she doesn't look crazy old. She definitely looks like a young queen. And I find that whole series to be funny. A lot of the jokes now, as they're coming, you can see them coming. And we're waiting for that next stage of, here's how this series or here's how this show is going to be different again. We kind of got that with the robot battle and him pulling out robots from his crazy past that end up being dominant. But I'm waiting for that next level. So like an outside of the school competition, or something that is invading the area that he has to go help with. You know, some sort of external force that's going to come in that's going to cause him to have to lean on his robot servant, who is one of the funniest little back and forths in the show. Which is just a blast to listen to. The English translation, I'm not following with the subs, but so far the English translation is doing everything it needs to do. Oh, excuse me, for me, for a show like this. So definitely enjoying it. Finally get to talk about the Queen. She's great. Love him teasing her for no reason other than he doesn't care. Yeah, and that is consistently the fun part about that character, is that they just don't care. They're like, if you banish me and I never get to come back, that would make me happy. You know, and so you get someone who has that, like, they've got nothing to lose, so whatever. Here we go. Watching him beat the crap out of those nobles was also great. So really fun show. Really fun show there. And then it looks like we are starting out today, you know, a little out of order. But if we're doing episode reviews, I guess we got to jump into Oppai as our first category. So, Shin Ikkitousen. I was not expecting classic Ikkitousen to become the center screen so quickly. You know, episode 1, we start out with new character and we're following new people. Episode 2, immediately back to old character and see if we can get them powered up. And the you know, that sort of goes in multiple locations. Episode starts out with all my clothes are torn because I've been fighting, and now I'm gonna unleash Amaterasu, or this series version of that, and then we're traveling to the netherworld. Like we're getting a lot of that classic anime rental vibe from this, and just tits out for Harambe across the board. We are not bashful about that in this show. I do I find it odd that it's so quickly jumping back into the older characters. Eye Patch Girl, as I refer to her now, and you know, moving into a place where I thought we'd get 3 episodes, kind of making the new character sort of the centerpiece of everything. And her getting a Magatama and working out how to power it up and be better and control her spirit, all of that stuff. But jumping immediately into, you know, oh, we had this person who was like the centerpiece of episode 1, but now we're moving to something different. Now, I don't know why I expected it to focus on the new character, just because it's a 3 episode little pop it out and see what people think about Ikkitousen. But I don't know. I was expecting to be 3 episodes about her kind of powering up and getting at least on the level, like make her her relation, you know, kind of that final boss of like, I got to be better than her kind of a thing. But show overall is following some of those good fighting tropes. You know, they're punching enemies, and we're getting some fun history. We're getting some fun history. Bizen Osafune. Not just the name of a sword from Ikkitousen, from Shin Ikkitousen. Also, Bizen Osafune, from sword making in Japan. Hold on, let me make this larger. Oh, it's getting smaller. All right, there we go. I guess 110% is the biggest it gets. If I do this and this, nope, it gets smaller again. All right, whatever. So Bizen Osafune is a sword making school founded by Bizen Osafune. And so the sword in the show actually named Nagamitsu. And I was like, all right, I see a sword with a name. I dig into it. I do the same thing with Dark Souls, and we can talk about that a little bit, because I think the sword in Ikkitousen has a lot more to do with the washing pole or the laundry pole, as we'll get to, than it does with the Nagamitsu school. But we will let's dive into this, because I love the history of things. And so if they're gonna name drop something like Amaterasu, sun god in Japan, end of story. We can talk about how she was born from the tears of Izanagi, but that's a tale for another time. But this sword is pretty prominent, and she very clearly calls it out as the Bizen Osafune Nagamitsu, which is a crazy thing to say, because Bizen Osafune is the sword school and now a museum. And Nagamitsu, as we will find out here, is the son of Bizen Mitsutada, because in Japan names are backwards. So Bizen is going to be the familial name. So Oppai lead me to learning about sword making, and I find that great. Boobs are great. They teach you about how swords are made. So another little kanpai as we dive into this and learn a little bit about the name Nagamitsu that we learned about a little bit in Shin Ikkitousen. All right. Bizen, I'm gonna say Bizen actually. Bizen Nagamitsu was the son of Bizen Mitsutada, who was the founder of the Bizen Osafune school. The works by Nagamitsu closely resemble the craftsmanship developed by Mitsutada. This is especially true in his early career. While they contain exuberant choji midare, like Mitsutada's works, they differ, however, in that they also contain dominant gunome and more pointed variations of choji than his father's work. Kanpai for the Oppai, 100%. Kanpai them Oppai. And we'll get to the yokai. The thinking in the past was that there were two generations of smiths who used the name Nagamitsu. The first generation, Nagamitsu, was thought to have been productive in the Bune and Koan eras, 1264, 1287. The Nidai was thought to be a smith who signed Seikon Shogun Nagamitsu, which representative works from Einan and Shoan eras. Couldn't learn to read, you weirdo. This is all you do, is read things online. The two generations theory stems in part from the fact there was a distinct change in the style of workmanship of blades made around Einan and Shoan eras. That is, prior to the Einan era, most of the blades exhibited luxuriant, irregular patterns resembling Mitsutada's. But after Einan, his blades have a quieter appearance with a somewhat more subdued, irregular pattern, occasionally even a straight pattern. Interesting. The one generation theory assumes that there was only one generation of smith who used the Nagamitsu name, and that the former type of blade represents his earlier blades, and the blades changed to the latter type as he went into his last half of his career. I had to leave it for a little bit. The first thing I heard is that Oppai taught you sword making. Yep. Oppai are teaching us about sword history in Japan. I'm playing tomorrow. My channel is under attack. My channel is under attack by Formula One management. But like in another, like it's in like a different country. My stupid freaking copyright strike for trying to show off. Like, I showed half of a highlights reel so that I could explain how DRS works and how like Formula One racing, what they're thinking as they try to come around and try to be the person who gets the DRS as they're moving through things. And then they're like, "Oh, you're not allowed to use our thing. That's copyright." I was like, I am transforming this into an educational purpose to get people excited about your show. No one is watching this for the express purpose of learning about what happened at the race. They're not trying to see the highlights. They want to know what I'm teaching you about the highlights from the race. And they're like, no, strike him. It's just like, come on, YouTube. Come on. Anyway, I'll lose that strike in 80 days or whatever. Kemner copyright strikes back. My channel's under attack. My goodness. If my channel was under attack at 68 subscribers, that would be hilarious. I'll have to talk to Lofty and start to pull out some quartering style videos so that I can have just every single episode. Something Amber Heard, something Brie Larson, and then something my channel's under attack by so and so's followers. That would be that's how you make the big bucks on the YouTubes, is you just drop 3 to 10 episodes a day about one person and then complain about how all of their fans are hating you. That's what I've learned. Hey, get someone who can make some good memes at the beginning of your episode. Get yourself a Lofty, and it'll be great. Oh, man. And then they'll get banned off of Twitter, and you'll never be able to speak to them again because you had DMs back and forth, and then their Twitter gets banned, and now you don't have their new Twitter, and now you don't have that communication line anymore. So, all right, whatever. I guess we'll eventually connect on a future date. If they ever invite me to something like Flashcast, I'll be able to say like, "Hey, asshole, talk to me again." That'll be great. Okay, so this is just talking about how there's like 2 different clear styles from this person. Hamon is Neo based, but distinctive and resembles his father. Boshi, Conte Point. Are any of these huge? Because none of the swords that I have seen look big. And like, we learn about this Baizen Osafune Nagamitsu. Ooh, and it does have this tie on it. Interesting. So the sword in Ikkitousen has a similar tie like this, where it goes from stem to stern, as opposed to like something that you'd wrap around your belt. However, it's huge. It's blade's cutting edge is 27 point. No, the blade in this show is like 4 feet long, 5 feet long, something like that. Like, it's crazy. Like, the whole thing is like, oh, it's so big that they couldn't draw it. You know what a big sword is that you can't draw? If you ever play Dark Souls and you unlock the cat clan where you can like join up with the blue rings and all that to be a blue phantom, you learn about a thing called the washing pole. Hold on, not Washington pole. The washing pole. The washing pole from Dark Souls is a big ass katana. This thing in game is huge. It's stupid long. And it comes from the laundry pole sword, which was if you've ever heard of Miyamoto Musashi, he had a crazy fight with a guy named Sasaki Kojiro. And Sasaki Kojiro, who was his opponent, had what is known as the laundry pole. His sword was so long that no one else would swing it, and everybody else thought it was stupid. And then Miyamoto Musashi fights him with 2 swords, and he ends up losing. Of course, it's old story, so who knows what actually happened, all this kind of stuff. We can opine all day as to what happened, but we do know that he was a swordsman. We do know that he is known specifically because he fought Miyamoto Musashi and was killed by Miyamoto Musashi. So it doesn't matter how long your sword is, you're always going to get defeated by the 5 rings. And if anybody is looking for a book, man, I am tangent after tangent right now. If anyone is looking for a book that will be really interesting and oddly applicable to your everyday life, the Book of the 5 Rings by Miyamoto Musashi is one of the most interesting reads I have ever had. I love it. Part of the Cat's Covenant. Okay, good. So if you joined the Cat's Covenant, go all the way back down to where the Spider Queen is, and outside of her boss arena, there's the stairs that you go up in order to take the roundabouty thing to go up kind of the back way to the Drake's Valley. Underneath those stairs is a guy from her covenant that will sell you the washing pole for 20,000 souls. I love it. It's fantastic. It is such a big sword that it doesn't matter that it has worse bleed than the Uchigatana. It might even be worse technically than the Iaito, but it is so much longer that it's hilarious and awesome. Join the Spider's Covenant. Well, you should also join the Spider's Covenant for a different reason. The game doesn't punish you for changing covenants. As long as you join a covenant, give them all the covenant crap they need in order to get all the way up into the covenant to get the trophy, as far as you need to go, and then you can join like the next covenant. They're more like a loose association of souls as opposed to a strict "if you leave us, we will hate you" sort of thing. So definitely shop around as far as your covenants are concerned. Your decks, yeah. All katanas are decks. The washing pole has the highest dex requirement. I think it's like, or the highest strength requirement. I think you need to have like 20 strength or something like that. But it scales primarily with dex. So you definitely can have some fun with that. And yes, it is definitely longer than your character. Let's see if we can find. Yep, here we go. Here's someone holding the washing pole. There you go. That's how big the washing pole is. That's why it's okay that it doesn't necessarily scale as good as the Uchigatana or the Aito. Because you swing it and you just hit everything. Look at this. This is a real one. There you go. Big old Nodachi. Look at that guy swinging the washing pole. I love that game. Plus, it does have better strength scaling as well than other katanas, so you can have a bit more of a balanced build and get more out of it. So you kind of have a soft cap at 40 in those games. So as soon as you hit 40 in any certain area, you have kind of diminishing returns by adding more to it. Because the washing pole is dex and strength, you can increase your strength up to 40 as well in order to really boost it up. Bet you didn't think you're getting Dark Souls tips and tricks and deep lore on a anime escapism site, but that's why I call it Blaine's Escape Corner, because it's not just anime, it's also video games made by Japan people. When you have a 7-foot long sword, you don't need the most damage. Exactly. We all learned that from Cloud and Berserk, and we're why do I say Cloud and Berserk? I should say Cloud and Guts. Like, those are the characters, or Final Fantasy and Berserk. Those are the shows. How odd. Been using the rapier mostly. I'm trying to think, what do I actually start with usually in Dark Souls? I don't. I think I just picked something like it might even be like hand axe or something like that, because when you're heading into Blighttown, there's a jump you can make and you can get Iaito like right off the bat. Or if you want to be like a cruel asshole, you can kill the merchant who sells Uchigatana, and he will drop Uchigatana right at the beginning. So as soon as you go up through like the castle walls and stuff, and you where you walk out and the dragon lands and then flies away, you keep going there and you go off to the right and there's the salesman is down below. If you just kill him, you can get the Uchigatana if you're feeling mean. If you're not feeling mean, then your master key should be your starting item, and you can just sprint to Blighttown and grab the Iaito right off the bat. Rapier is pretty good if you're looking for the multi-hit sprint move, but if you can't pull off the multi-hit sprint move, or you're not always throwing lightning on it, it can be a little more of a hit or miss, as it might be. Oh my goodness. Are you playing the remake? I gotta assume it's gotta be the remake. Like who has the OG on what would PS3, I guess, would have been the original. Almost everybody has to be playing Dark Souls on the new remaster edition. Uchigatana NPC slayers are tryhards. I just get tired of having to wait to get the sword I want. I'll just kill that guy and get the sword I want. You killed the merchant. Those are the two main swords you use. Nice. You're also being classified as a tryhard according to Serranos here. So congratulations. Way to join me in the tryhardian expeditions. That remaster did really well. I was quite pleased with it, actually. I quite love those games. Excited to try some Ghost of Tsushima in multiplayer. Still waiting on a group that I can play. I love Elden Ring. I have played like 20 minutes of Elden Ring, maybe 30 minutes of Elden Ring. And I have fallen in love, and I loved it so much I stopped playing because Gran Turismo 7 came out, and I said, if I want to continue playing Elden Ring, I have like a group of friends that I play Dark Souls games with. I'm like, I have to wait until they're ready to play this game because it is so much fun. I love the way it's built, that I need to let them play this with me because it is so well done. I love Elden Ring. Being a tryhard is what Dark Souls is all about. Yeah. You could also just throw a bunch of fire bombs and equip thunder onto your items, and everything would probably be okay overall if you did that. I think me playing Dark Souls is on YouTube somewhere. Hold on. I did a 24-hour stream for Extra Life with my buddy, and we played Dark Souls and we beat it. I want to say we beat it 5 times, something like that. But I don't remember if we had the full 24-hour. Oh yeah, here we go. Wait, no, that's just saying that we're going to do the 24-hour charity thing. Maybe we didn't record it. Maybe it's gone. Maybe it's gone. Oh well. That's enough going down that road. Anyway, Soul of the Samurai is another great game. That's on PS2. It also talks about the washing pole, though it's actually a washing pole in that game. So you can know that it's actually the laundry pole. And that's how I found out about Sojiro. Was we played Soul of a Samurai, and there's another sword in it called the laundry pole, and I was like, laundry pole sounds like the washing pole. That's funny. They're both really long swords. And then I googled it, and I was like, whoa, really long swords is actually a Japanese thing that they all love and they all enjoy talking about. That's amazing. And that's the beauty about games, and that's the beauty about anime, is you can like get deep into the lore of an entirely different culture that you have no idea about in order to you learn more. You know, you get deeper into it and you follow it, and everything will be great and amazing. Kampai. Your older brother is way more into games than you. He could talk to you for days about Dark Souls. Anytime you see him, just start playing a VatiVidya like retrospective on Dark Souls, and you'll have all the info you need to communicate with them. Speaking of Japanese culture, so Oppai swords, Oppai katana, yokai. There's a Gegege Kitaro exhibit showing off a bunch of different yokai, which seems like a really fun and exciting thing to do, where they're taking classical yokai like Beto-Beto-san, who follows behind you in the dark. That's all he does. He's just the footstep sound you hear behind you. And then you turn around, you don't see anything. Or you say, after you, Beto-Beto-san, and he runs past you. But they've redrawn a whole bunch of yokai in that sort of vein. And I freaking love this kind of stuff. Like the Gakuramatsu or whatever is so interesting. Like, it's a giant skeleton that is created by a bunch of people who have starved to death on the battlefield. Like what? Who thought of this? And why did they think of this? And why is it giant? And why is it not a skeleton made of skeleton? But now that I've said it, you can think back to like anime and other shows that you've seen where you're like, wait, I've seen giant skeleton. Is that also like along the same lines of the yokai? And I bet it is. I bet it all has that kind of interesting stuff. I have a feeling we'll talk about fantasy lore next season with Made in Abyss. Maybe. Made in Abyss is an odd one. Made in Abyss definitely feels like it has some really interesting lore in and of itself. It has more ties to something like Dante's Inferno, though, than it does with something that is like Japanese lore, where like women have mouths in the back of their head that their hair feeds, and stuff like that. But it's one of those fun things. Like Gegege no Kitaro artist brings yokai to life in Tokyo exhibit, celebrating the 100th anniversary of Mizuki's birth. The exhibit will feature over 100 illustrations. Gegege no Kitaro creator Shigeru Mizuki is being honored with an exhibit in Tokyo that showcases the various artwork he created featuring Japanese yokai. Over 100 illustrations will be shown alongside books from Mizuki's private collection that feature various stories and tales about yokai. The exhibit is in celebration of the 100th anniversary of Mizuki's birth in 1922. So 100 is very interesting. So the one of the most famous works regarding Japanese yokai is the 100 yokai parade, the Hyaku. Hold on, let me get the name here. Hyaku You know, Made Abyss was getting us another season. You got the first season in your backlog. Wait for the next season to start, and then go ahead and catch up. The work is the Hyaki Yagyo, the Night Parade of 100 Yokai. Very, very classic legend about a bunch of yokai that are in a parade that depicts a number of different types of yokai that are parading around Kyoto. And the other interesting thing about it being 100 is in yokai lore, when something turns 100, it becomes a yokai. So we talked a little bit about the little cat, the Bakeneko from Miss Shachiku. We also talked about cats when I was talking about cats in anime, and how there's sort of the monster version of those, the Nekomata. The Nekomata becomes a Nekomata when it's 100. When a cat turns 100, it grows that second tail, and now it's a yokai. Same thing happens to your umbrella. Your umbrella turns 100 and it turns into that umbrella yokai. Your underwear, your house, your table, anything turns 100, it turns into a yokai. And that sort of falls in line with a lot of the tradition here. So the fact that we're at the 100-year anniversary since Mizuki's birth, we're playing right into those yokai things. Made in Abyss also has a movie to watch before season 2. Oh, I actually didn't know about the movie. I'll have to catch up on that for sure. Although he passed in 2015, Mizuki's Kitaro continues to give children a look into the world of spirits and yokai in one of the best modern yokai stories that has come about, honestly. Really fantastic one. Almost asked about that umbrella one. Looks like a fun thing to drink with. Not only is it a fun thing to drink with, it also there's a clothing company that uses it for their like design. Umbrella yokai. You're talking about this goober glabber right here. This guy, the Philly little Philly goose. But yeah, it's basically just a parasol that's 100 years old. Same thing with the shoes. They're just old shoes. Kasa Obake, just literally meaning umbrella monster or parasol monster. Is it kinfold? Maybe I'm pretty sure it's kinfold official, isn't it? Kinfold apparel, not kinfold official. Sorry, everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Nope, not that button. This button. Yeah, so they've got a little umbrella guy on a pin if you want. It's cute. Little pin man. Yeah, basically just 100-old umbrella. That's all. Although he passed, blah, blah, blah. Considered a classic series, it was first published in 1960 and is considered the reason stories around yokai became more popular during this time. There were 9 volumes of the original manga, and the story has now been adapted into 6 different anime adaptations. Several movies and video games were also created. The most recent anime adaptation aired from 2018 to 2020, and it was pretty good. I like how they really modernized a lot of the yokai stories, and took elements from today to really make it more interesting. The Nurikabe is a wall. This one, if you ever run into, so if you're going out in the woods and you're walking and then you run into a wall and you can't get past the wall, no matter which way you go, left or right, and you just cannot get past this wall, grab a stick and just like poke at its feet and it'll run away. So you'll be fine. You'll get past the Nurikabe if you do that. The story follows Kitaro, a young boy who is the last member of the ghost tribe with the help of his father, Oyaji, whose spirit inhabits a single eyeball with tiny arms and legs. Kitaro and his friends try to ease tensions between the spirit and human worlds. While many of the creatures they encounter are Japanese in origin, they occasionally meet beings from outside of Japan, including a Chinese vampire named Yasha. Not all yokai they encounter are willing to live with humans, and sometimes they are malevolent. That is true. So Japan borrows a ton of stuff from China, and so you'll get, like, my favorite beer is Kirin Ichiban. Kirin is actually like a Chinese, probably an interpretation of what they thought a giraffe would be, but it's sort of a long-necked horse creature. And it has become very mythical in Chinese lore. And then Kirin Ichiban is sort of, that's their mascot. You've got also, like they talked about, Chinese vampire. They're really popular, as well as Chinese zombies, like the jumpy zombies are fairly common in a lot of Japanese yokai stories as well. Stories of yokai were used throughout Japan's history to explain strange occurrences and can be traced as far back as 772 CE. Though they may go back even further. The concept has its roots in animism, which is the idea that all things have spirits, including inanimate objects and natural occurrences. The word yokai is often used to describe strange things in general, but is often more associated with beings and spirits, which are divided into several categories. Over the centuries, the idea of yokai changed and evolved into what we know them as today. For example, there is a yokai that everybody knows, the Kappa. You may not realize you know about the Kappa, but everybody knows about the Kappa. This is the turtle shell wearing bowl of water on its head, having cucumber eating yokai. And you're always told, if you run into a Kappa, assume the sumo stance and give it a bow, and Kappa are duty bound to bow back, and when they bow, the water will pour out of their head, and then they will become weak because they no longer are connected to water. Funny story, interesting thing. If you carve your name onto a cucumber and throw it into a river where a Kappa is known to live, that Kappa will see that you gave it the cucumber, and you will get protected by the Kappa yokai. Now, why is a monster now helping you? Because people always want monsters and things that are evil to then also be a protective deity. Because the original Kappa, that was a Twitch emote? Yes. Yes, the Kappa emote. The original Kappa would reach deep into your anus and grab your spirit orb, which is a red ball that resides inside of your oshiri, or your butt, and rip it out. And ripping out the spirit from your anus, it would eat then your spirit orb and sustain itself. It was a monster that killed people who got too close to its domain, or that it needed to kill in order to eat. So it would reach deep inside your anus and pull out the red orb of life and devour you and your life. Now, why would Japanese people make some sort of story about a monster? Apparently YouTube just turns it into its own worse version. Yeah, that's a very strange face. You know what that face is? Speaking of Dark Souls, that looks a lot like the sun that resides on Solaris. Just the stupid face. I don't know why they have that face on a character in a freaking video game, but they do, and it makes me giggle every single time I see it. Anyway, if you got a village and you want kids to live, a good way to keep kids alive is to have them not play in fast-moving rivers. And to not have them play in fast-moving rivers, tell them there's a monster in there that's going to reach up their butt and pull out their life force. And now you've got kids that are too scared to go next to the river. Some darker stories go into the fact that infanticide was a thing in ancient Japan. And so rather than let people go to a river where the infants were being infanticided, they would tell a story about how yokai are in that river, so that kids wouldn't go there and see a bunch of dead baby jokes, but not the joke version. So you've got some really dark, evil monsters from the past that, as time goes on, we make them protectors. We make them more happy. Look at Godzilla. Like, Godzilla is such a clear modern example of this trend, where in the original Gojira, Godzilla is a monster and a creature who is attacking and destroying Japan and represents all of the fears that Japanese people have about another nuclear strike. The idea that something like Hiroshima and Nagasaki could happen again and that they'd be powerless against it is clear in Gojira. But as you move through the eras, in Gojira, we have Gojira Returns, and then all of a sudden Gojira's fighting against King Kong. And then you move into the Heisei era, and Gojira is coming back to protect Japan because it's like his territory. And you take this thing that used to be a symbol and an image of all of the fears that people had, and it gets turned into a protector of those people, is really fascinating, really cool. All the way up until Shin Godzilla, the newest iteration, co-written by Hideaki Anno when he was feeling bad about the Fukushima earthquake. And like I said previously about how Hideaki Anno makes really good stuff when he's depressed. When he's upset at the government, he makes great stuff. And so you get Shin Godzilla, where he's making a Godzilla that is representing a natural disaster that is coming to attack Japan, and the Japanese government's inability to deal with that. And it is just fantastic. Just amazing. Really good. Really, really good. As interesting as the MonsterVerse Godzilla is, where he's fighting King Kong and all that. Oh, woo, aha. Bryan Cranston's in a movie. Awesome. He's just like the guy that was in all the old Godzilla movies that they spliced in. Who cares? The real cool modern Godzilla is Shin Godzilla, and watching how a government can't figure out what to do to combat that. So we come full circle. We started out as a monstrous destroyer of man that we can't really fight against, turned it into a hero of man that will fight for us, and then boom, now we're turning it again into something that will come against us. It's almost like the tale of Berserk, if you think about it. Think about it. We can go there. I can say that. I said that. Kampai. Man, tonight is what twist, we call it Twisted Tuesday. What do we want to call this? Non sequitur? Segue? I don't know. I feel like I'm tangent. It's Tangent Tuesday. That's what it is. Tangent Tuesday. We got Anna Monday and Tangent Tuesday. Throwback Thursday, Waifu Wednesday, and Fun Time Friday. I just named the entire series that our show is going to follow. So congratulations, everyone who's following along. That's what we're going to be doing. They're divided into several categories. Over the centuries, the idea of yokai changed and evolved into what we know them as today. Along with Mizuki's illustrations, a collection of books he collected during featuring yokai will also be shown, including his copy of the Illustrated Night Parade of 100 Demons, the Gazu Hyaki Yagyo, a collection of traditional Japanese ink paintings depicting various yokai. It was first published in 1774. That is old. The artwork was created by ukiyo-e artist. My favorite type of art is woodblock ukiyo-e art. Seikien Toriyama, and was the first in a series of picture books. This book would become one of the most influential in yokai lore in history. How is this a... Oh, we'll read that one next. Influencing how yokai would be depicted in later works like Kitaro. The exhibit will also host guided night tours and workshops for children to learn more about the various yokai featured. It will take place in the Tokyo City View on the 52nd floor of Roppongi, blah, blah, blah. It'll be $20 to get in, and this will be the first time Mizuki's works will be displayed for public viewing in any large-scale exhibit. New tangent. I like Dark Souls. Do I like Monster Hunter? No! No, I don't like Monster Hunter. Oh, my wife really likes Monster Hunter. I don't like Monster Hunter. And here's the problem with Monster Hunter. You have to hit that damn monster so many times for it to do anything resembling the fact that it got hit. In Dark Souls, a game praised for being difficult and hard, as you hit a creature, it will, based on its size and your power, reflect the fact that you have injured it to some extent. There is some level of understanding of the level of damage you are performing. Even if you take out the health bar, you still have Sif limping as you hit it. You have certain creatures where you hit them in one spot long enough and their armor breaks away. And suddenly you know that's now a weak exposed section. You have indications that the thing you are doing is working. Other than the fact that you have somebody next to you or someone on a forum or someone online who says, oh no, just keep hitting it, it'll work. You have no idea that anything you are doing in Monster Hunter is going to actually defeat the monster you are hunting. My throat is getting dry because of this. Oh my goodness. I freaking hate the way that they handle things. It's like, oh, it's been like 2 hours and we've chased this creature to 3 different nests. And now it's limping. And then it limps for the next 2 hours. And you're like, oh my gosh, I beat it. That was like the hardest thing. But the creature never attacked you. The entire time you were not getting to like see at any point that it was dangerous or anything like that. You're just walking around whacking these stupid creatures. The pickle monster, the Monster Hunter World is going to be where I've got a lot of the things that I've seen here, but just holy crap, it's just not, there's no indicator that you're anywhere close to being done. And then by the time you're finally done, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so done with that. As opposed to feeling like, yeah, beat it, cool, awesome, woo! Monster Hunter parts break. I don't care. Not everything has horns that do break. Some things just have wings and feet and they don't break. If it takes longer than 30 minutes to do a hunt, you're definitely not doing enough damage. The fact that 30 minutes is something that you're posting as this is how long it should take should be indicative of the fact that it takes too damn long to kill any of these monsters. I can beat Dark Souls in a couple hours. Like the entirety of the original game in a couple hours. It's like most parts on a monster will break. All right, we play different games then, because there is no indication to me when I'm playing Monster Hunter that I'm doing damage and that it's working and that I can actually like keep doing damage into that spot and it'll do like extra damage or anything like that. It drives me nuts to chase this creature around that just ignores me, to then finally have it fall over dead. The entire situation in time just feels like a waste of my time, and I'm not gonna waste more time on Monster Hunter until they fix that. And again, 30 minutes. So in the time it takes you to hunt down 4 monsters, I'll beat Dark Souls. That's what we're saying here. It's not fun. The only fun part about Monster Hunter is the town that you go back to, like the hub world. It did take until World for them to actually show you monster weaknesses. That was really dumb. Wow. And that's the only one I'm familiar with is World. Where the cats can cook you food, and it's really cute when the cats do the cat cooking food dance. That was my favorite part of the show. The game. I really enjoyed it. Oh my goodness. There can be an entire army of people that enjoy that game and that tell me all the reasons that they enjoy that game, but I still won't want to spend a single minute hunting a monster in that game again. They're like, until someone comes to me and says they fixed it, we fixed everything, and it actually makes sense. Like I don't even remember Blood Splash in that game where it's like, oh, I felt like I actually cut into it, you know, and you've got these giant swords or giant hammers and you're swinging them around. And you're like, I just don't feel, I feel like, here's what it feels like. This might alienate a lot of people. It felt like I was playing Knights of the Old Republic again. Now, let me explain. I love Deus Ex. That was one of my favorite games growing up, where you took RPG elements, but you could still just first person shoot your way through the game. Your skill could get you through the game. I also loved the Jedi Academy game from way back in the day, where you go light or dark and you get a bunch of cool force powers and you could fight people and you could attack them. And if you were good at the game, you know, whether or not you were leveled up or not, you could still do well at the game. And then I played Knights of the Old Republic. I think it was the second one. So KOTOR 2. And I said, attack. And I watched my character take a lightsaber and swing it right through the middle of the person on the other side of them. And a little word said, miss. And I said, what do you mean you missed? I watched you bisect that human with a lightsaber. You don't miss when you see that. How does any of this make sense? And playing Monster Hunter World takes me back to that feeling of, I feel like this is just a big miss. Like, nothing I'm doing is doing anything, and then all of a sudden it's doing something. And there's just not that feedback that I need in order to know that actually swinging my sword has done something. Whereas, like, I can swing a few hits on the Taurus demon, and boom, he falls down, and then you can crush him. Everything is great. All this talk of games makes you want to play 7 Days to Die. You are speaking a Maya language. Loses a fifth of the viewers based on one sentence. Yeah. Yeah, I probably did. I know a lot of people like KOTOR, but I was not ready for an MMO that would let me miss something when it's so, like, here's the deal. Just show that I miss them and then say it's a miss. If they had just animated it as a missed swing and then said miss, I would have been fine. But the fact that I watched a sword, a lightsaber, go right through somebody's waist and then it said miss just blew my kid brain to the point where I was like, I can't play this game. I can't play this game ever again. This is insane. This is insane to me. But E-Class, I love 7 Days to Die. Maybe we get a server going because I freaking love that game. It is so silly and so much fun. There was a period of time where a friend of mine was living with me for about a month, and we played 7 Days to Die. I want to say, I want to say we played that game every day when we got back from our respective works, but I freaking love 7 Days to Die. building like crazy traps so that like zombies fall into a pit, and you can like have them just kind of caged up so you can shoot them in a pit, or you can put spike walls and stuff around. Like we had the river fort, we had a underground fort. We did all kinds of crazy stuff in that game. I freaking loved it. And that was on PS3 or 4. So it would have been stuck at like version 1.14 or 1.09 or something like that. So I freaking love that game. I freaking love that game. Maybe we'll play some 7 Days to Die over on Twitch. Let me know. Are you on PC? Are you on PlayStation? Where are you playing from? Or is it cross now? I have no idea. I haven't played that game in so long. It's probably completely different than what I used to play. Too much work, not enough pay. Exactly. Or not enough, just, hey, you did work. I don't need the pay necessarily today, as long as I get acknowledged for having done some amount of work. Oh my goodness. Why couldn't we have Titty Tuesday? Why couldn't that be the day? I go find swords talk and yokai talk, and now we're talking video games I don't like. We could have been talking about Ikkitousen and how it's uncensored. But no, I had to go and talk about yokai and anime with swords. Oh my goodness. But we can keep the sword talk rolling. What are the yokai talk rolling? Because I found the link. This is the link from the last article we were watching, and you know how I love following CBR link holes. Yokai are a staple of Japanese culture. Here's what these mystical beings are, as well as some places in the anime world they can be observed. Every once in a while, one will come across an anime with strange creatures. 7 Days to Die looks way different than when I saw it in 2015-ish. So I followed an update where I saw like helicopters, and I was like, what happened? And that was kind of the last update I think I saw was like helicopters or some kind of truck. Because I don't remember any kind of vehicle other than the in the edition we were playing, you could get like the moped. You could find all the pieces and build like a bike. And then the best part was, as long as you could see the bike and you were close enough, you could get onto it. So we had a base where there were concrete pillars. And so you could see through the pillars. And so you had a moped on that side and a moped on this side. And you would just look through the bars and say, get on. And you would just teleport through the bars and get on the moped. And you'd be outside. And then when you got back, you just got off, pulled everything out of your basket, and then looked at the other moped that was inside. And you said, get on the moped. And you just transfer through the bars. So you never had to open a door and risk zombies attacking into your base. As long as you could get in and see the moped, you could just transition your frame into the base. That was the last time I was playing the game. That was hilarious. Oh my god. Many anime fans are familiar with terms like Kyubi, Kitsune, and Tengu. Kyubi, I actually don't recognize. Wait, it's a kitsune. What? Okay. It's just a fox demon, and then Tengu are the big nose guys that send like windstorms going around. We should totally get a server going. Definitely. What does it take to have a server going? Do we need a computer that's on all the time, or can we just like start a server somewhere else, like Minecraft, where we can all just kind of log in from anywhere? Because I would be 100% down for that. These creatures all qualify as yokai. There are plenty of other instances of yokai throughout anime. It's important to remember that yokai come in all shapes and sizes. While many of them are ghosts or at least spiritual in nature, they represent myths and rumors in general for the Japanese. As such, they can be anything from a woman with her mouth cut open where she says, "Am I pretty?" and you say yes, and then she takes off her mask and she's got cuts like a Joker. She's like, "Am I pretty now?" And if you say yes, then you have to be telling the truth, and if you say no, she'll eat you. Or giant sea monsters, Umibozu, which literally means the sea monk, because it looks like a monk's bald head out in the ocean. I love the Umibozu. In this sense, even Oni, despite being called demons or ogres in English, qualify as yokai 100%. And like we talked about the other day, Michael loves his Oni with 6-packs. It's better to think of them as fairy tale characters, if anything. With that in mind, here's a look at some of the biggest anime that feature them. Same picture as last time. One of the most famous yokai anime out of there is Gegege no Kitaro. It follows the eponymous Kitaro. Your wife called, so you're a few minutes behind. You play on PC. That's okay. You can be a few minutes behind. I don't mind. You can listen to me at 1.5 speed or 1.75 or 2 times. How do I sound 2 times speed? Really catch up fast now. I do have 7 Days to Die on PC, so we could all play on PC. Dating back to the 1960s, Kitaro could be called the progenitor of modern supernatural anime. It's definitely responsible for popularizing yokai for modern anime audiences. However, due to its long history, it might not be the best place to start for those with only a passing interest in yokai. Maybe watch Yokai Watch. Here we go. Better place to begin would be Yokai Watch. The anime has its main characters interact with and fight and befriend various yokai. This series plays around a lot with the idea that yokai are responsible for unexplained phenomena, like Pokemon, but with yokai. Speaking of Pokemon, that franchise also features a few yokai-like monsters, like Vulpix, which is a kitsune. And it's not just the ghost types either. Naturally, Ninetales is based on the popular Kyubi. Other fox-like Pokemon, like Zoroark line, the Fennekin line, and Vulpix may be based on Kitsune. Mawile is based on Fudokuchi Onna. What is Mawile? Oh, the lady that feeds herself with the back of the head. She got a mouth on the back of her head. What the heck? There's too many Pokemon nowadays. Oh, yeah, it's got a mouth on the back of its head, of course. Okay, but Ram would be better with abs. Who wouldn't be better with abs? Ram. Oh, but they're the same physically, aren't they? They're twins. That's the whole point, is like they are the same look. So if one got something and the other got something, you'd be just like the only difference is pink versus blue or red versus blue. Golduck and Lombre are based on Kappa. Frostlass is based on Yukiona, who is a snow princess who will eat your heart, literally. The list goes on and on. For series like these, where yokai wouldn't logically exist but are still a desirable plot device. Well, it's one of those things, like, you talk about any area's folklore, and the people that are familiar with that folklore are going to sort of immediately understand kind of what you're referencing or talking about. As it turns out, the recent Wano arc of One Piece features a number of yokai-like entities, especially during the raid on Onigashima. That's Oniga Island, basically. Several of the homies' big mom made on the island are based on Tsukumogami, which would be like your umbrella spirit or your sandal spirit, any of those. Spirit-possessed objects which are often classified as yokai. These include Bakezori, yep, the sandals, Chochinobake, the lanterns, and Kasa Obake, the umbrellas. Black Maria of the Tobiropo is based on a mix between Jorogumo, which is also from Dark Souls! Joroguma is this big spider queen, and you may recognize her as being a boss from Dark Souls, where you have pretty lady torso on big spider evilness. And Tsuchigumo, 2 types of spider yokai. Her underlings in the Pleasure Hall are also based on various yokai, including Rokurokubi and Akaname and Nureona. It's also possible that Kaido and Yamato are Oni, because Oni are cool, demony ogres. Though the details on that front are still foggy. At the very least, they're obviously based on Onis. This dense collection of yokai references is likely the result of Wano being inspired by Japan. Of course. Of course. Monster Musume. Definitely has a spider girl. But I feel like they... You can listen to 1 1/4, 1.5 speed. Sounds like me. Well, yeah, exactly. Catch up! Catch up someday! Spider Girl, but the rest of them sort of branch into other folklore, like the Lamia is very Greek. The Centaur also Greek. Is Harpy Greek? Are Harpies Greek? I feel like they are. I'm gonna pretend they are until someone tells me they're not. The slime, of course, being just more of a modern monster thing. The ooze. Some lesser known more common trend in anime featuring yokais to exercise them, which makes them perfect for the battle shonen genre. As such, many series from Shonen Jump prominently feature fighting yokai, evil spirits, mononoke, demons, or whatever they want to call them. Popular supernatural anime under the Shonen Jump banner include Jujutsu Kaisen, which is great, Yu Yu Hakusho, which is great, Hell Teacher Nube, which I haven't seen, and Nura, the Rise of the Yokai Clan, which is good. Some lesser known ongoing series include Ayakashi Triangle, Ayashimon, which I just heard about. It's like Oni yokai are Yakuza. Like, that sounds like fun. I like that idea. And Dorodan. These kinds of series will often depict yokai as malevolent beings who terrorize ordinary people. It's the main character's duty to stop such evil spirits and maintain peace. Like yokai, and we can't forget Inuyasha is very yokai, very Japanese. Like yokai, anime featuring them can come in all shapes and sizes. Other popular series that prominently feature strange creatures include Inuyasha, XXX Holic, Natsume's Book of Friends, Ghost Stories, which is where you can learn a lot of good yokai facts from ghost stories, which is great. One person creates a server. I think the person who creates a server has to be on at all times. Not sure if that's totally accurate, though. Okay, we'll have to figure that out. Serrano's correct answer. I give Ranchera, I don't want to die out of 10. All Run is German. I don't know. Rem and Ram don't quite have same body type. Yeah, one's got a bit more in the Oppai department, just like our title of this episode. Just like this episode has more in the Oppai department. Word up, Brandon. How are you doing? Wonderful to chat. You had an episode drop this morning, and I have not caught up with it yet. We will have to do that. We will have to catch up. Noragami, which has a lot of Japanese kind of historical folklore. What's cool about Noragami, if you want to watch a show about yokai and about a lot of this sort of like Shinto and Buddhist lore, is that they tie in a lot of the Buddhist lore. So they have like Bizamonten, and they have like the 7 gods of fortune that are a part of Noragami, which are all like straight rips from Chinese Buddhism that Japan took. And so you can learn a lot about like the cultural impacts there if you watch Noragami. You need to catch up on Spy Cross Family. Well, you better get to it. Get some Elden Ring and Skyrim in. Yeah, I've put a pause on my Elden Ring playing. I was literally talking about that earlier in this episode because can't keep it up. When we get the Monster Girl episode, So fun time Friday, maybe we'll do some Monster Girl episode. Only 2 minutes behind today. Well, that makes the chats even funnier because I said that like 2 minutes ago, so we'll just pretend it goes from there. Say Awaki Kitsune no Senki-san. Senko-san was a really fun one but it's really just about Kitsune, so not too much deep into the yokai with that one. One could watch some or all of these series and make a real Hyaki Yagyo Night Parade of 100 Demons, which let's pull out the real Night Parade. We can watch that later. The folkloric nature of yokai is what makes them so appealing. They can be anything from horrifying monsters to playful sprites. Just like I said, just in the same way that Godzilla went from being this crazy monster who was like bent on destroying Japan. What is up, Nerdporial? How are you doing this evening? And yes, OMG, it is the Brandon, the anime guy. Make sure you're subbing to everybody. I feel like everybody in my comments has a YouTube channel, so make sure you follow up with anybody that you have a good chat with, and you can either catch up with them on Twitter or on YouTube. You're at episode 99 of Yu Yu Hakusho. The show's going to be taken off Hulu in a week. When it leaves Hulu, where's it going to go? You're going to have to buy it. You have to buy it, and then you'll have it forever. Yu Yu Hakusho is such a good show. It is like tournament arc to a T. It makes tournament arcs amazing. And you get enemies where at first you're like they're just sort of some sort of malevolent evil who is just there to destroy, but then you get introduced to some backstory where you're like, oh man, maybe they've got a reason to be working hard and being there. Maybe I should root for them. And then they leave the tournament arc and they move into something else and they get next another tournament arc. And I freaking love Yu Yu Hakusho. Probably Crunchyroll. Yeah, it'll probably be on Crunchyroll soon enough. Unless High Dive picks it up. Is it on High Dive? Hold on. We got to break away for a second while we look something up to see if we're right about how we find things. Yeah. Why does it want my address? That's the wrong thing to think. I don't remember what my password is like 90% of the time. Oh, there we go. You're at demon training? Nice. Let's save that. All right, there we go. Now I won't have to log in again. Oh, maybe it needs a space in UU. You love the 90s aesthetic. The 90s aesthetic is so good. Here's how good the 90s aesthetic is. You're behind on Pat Labor. Well, you're never gonna catch up on that. Confirmed it's on Crunchyroll. Good. That way it's got somewhere you can watch it. Pat Labor, Legend of the Galactic Heroes has a currently airing season. We just learned about this yesterday. This was big news. Big news for me, and I'm sure like Pop Culture Mechanic already knew all about it. But let's High Dive is a branch of Sentai. Yes, that is true statement. Look at this. Legend of the Galactic Heroes Season 3. And according to Anime News Network, they're rating it number 6. And it was like number 5 for a bit. Then it got not as good. Something happened at episode 30. And then it was like, pew! And it came popping back up. Freaking Legend. Like, when I saw Legend of the Galactic Heroes in a top 10, I was like, what? What are you doing up here? I remember you from ages ago. Oh my goodness. It made me giggle seeing it even high. Even like the old one, not the new one. Yeah, okay. But still, the fact that there's a new one that is being touted as popular enough to be on like somebody's top 10 is still kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. That show it's got a lot of history to it. I mean, I think Pop Culture Mechanic did like an entire hour just talking about Galaxy 999. Must have killed off a character. Yeah, we killed him. And then you just tank your scores for that one episode, and then poof, they pop right back up, and that character's gone, and nobody cares anymore. Season 3 is going to be covering what episodes 27 to 42 of the original anime. Hilarious. That doesn't sound like an entire season's worth, really. I guess that would be. That'd be a core worth, wouldn't it? I'm sure it is. Book 3. Goodness, now you're talking about books. I don't read books. I watch anime. Who do you think I am? Some kind of book reader? It is technically Stream Elements OBS, but I'm not signed into any Stream Elements currently. I used to use the Stream Elements OBS specifically with our old show that we used to do on Twitch, where it was just me and my wife talking about our trips to Japan. And then with this, I just wanted to sign into OBS until I can finally reach that monetization stage where I can argue that I should just sign up for Restream, make sure it it adds up at the end of the month, love you some Galaxy Express 999. That is true. I know this for a fact. I watched that stream. I think that might be the first stream I ran into you. It was like, this person is talking about Galaxy Express 999, and I was like, what? Like, who's doing this? And I just popped on and was like, all right, we'll see what's going on here. Not seen 999 in ages. You need to. It's got choo-choo trains and aliens and robots and Darth Vader's in it. It's crazy. It's mind-blowing, that show. Log is based on a series of novels. Tanaka also wrote The Heroic Legend of Arslan and Titania. Does Titania have some Oppai? Because if they do, I'm about it. Definitely watch that one. It does. I feel it. StreamYard cost me $50 a month. So here, like, Restream, not that bad price-wise for, like, the base version. But the corporate version, which is, like, $80 a month or something like that, lets you send StreamYard directly to it as a source. And that would make things so much simpler that I'm like, maybe I just wait until I can get the corporate version. That would be great. Because sending an RTMP directly in rather than just sending my camera and mic would be fantastic. That's a little inside baseball, I guess, for everybody else to listen to. Here, I'll put some Night Parade of 100 Demons on, and we can talk about Oni. Crazy long neck lady. Why is that picture so tiny? There we go. It's a little better. Umbrella Oni. Oh man. You love Out There shows. Speaking of Matsumoto, you need to watch Yamato 2199 and 2202. But have you seen Ancient Drawings of Demons? I mean, really, have you, like, drawn in 1700 and still referenced in modern anime today from just a series of ink blots of frogs riding on crazy turtles that run the countryside and what is this, like a fire version of a Tengu? That's real. That's real. One-eyed lady with a long neck. Long neck lady would be better with abs. Oh, gotta get the kids to bed. You got a video and you start editing. Have a great night. No, you have a wonderful night. It was good to see you for a minute. Oh my goodness, this has been straight up Tangent Tuesday for sure. We are going all over the place, and we keep circling back to the apps, so maybe there is something to that. Oh my goodness. But I freaking love how like you can take an entire country's culture and distill it into like very specific elements, and then like throw it into their different anime and pop culture and see what comes out. Like it's just so fantastic. Any favorite anime songs? You love the opening to the 90s mecha show Go Zaur and Zeta Gundam. When it comes to anime songs, just one thing, Kami can you show? Child many bum 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 ba doo 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 doo. Red alert, red alert. The Gundam Wing theme was on my rotation for decades. I can say that now. I have listened to Just Communication by whoever sings it for the Gundam Wing theme for years, for decades. I have loved that song. That song is amazing. More recently, you know, there's been some interesting songs where I'll enjoy a song, and then I'll get deeper into like the band, and then that band will recommend another band, and then you're just listening to Polka Dot Stingray on YouTube again, because Polka Dot Stingray is a band where every song they play sounds like an anime song, and it's just fantastic. You got Gundam Wing song on one of your CDs. Yeah, you've got your Sharpie on the top of the CD that's like anime hits 2004, and it just has Just Communication, but you didn't call it that. You called it Red Alert Gundam Wing. That was like the title you found when you downloaded it. Oh, what about White Reflection? I will have to look that one up because I don't know. Let's see, White Reflection. I should be able to do this without the songs for Zeta were based off of Neil Sedaka songs from the 70s. All Roads Lead to Rome or Bubblegum Stingray. Let's see if I can. Okay, yeah, I can play this without you guys hearing it. Nope. Okay, there we go. Burned anime songs, that's how it was done. Dude. Orphans no mina I'm safe and I freaking love the ending song to Iron Blooded Orphans, and I think it's called Orphans. I think that's actually like the song title, if I remember. I love that song. White Reflection definitely not hitting as hard. Not hitting as hard at all. You've seen every Gundam show except that one. You even saw G-Reco. Okay, so two things on that. Number one, fix that. Watch Iron Blooded Orphans. I personally think that the new types and Gundanium are an ass pull to make sure that the Gundams win. There's always something stupid about like, oh, well, this Gundam's better, or this pilot's better, blah, 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 blah. Iron Blooded Orphans gives you an in-universe awesome reason why Gundams should be better piloted than other mech suits. why they would be faster, why they would be stronger, why their reactions would be better, and their actual skills would improve. Iron-Blooded Orphans is amazing. I freaking love that story. It's fantastic. Stem to stern, top to the bottom. Top to the bottom's best in the sector. Can't tie the orphans. Got to episode 8 and then stopped. I'm sorry. I will Clockwork Orange your ass into watching that show if I ever see you, because it is amazing, and the ending theme every time. Gosh, it's so good. God. And then every time you hear it coming, like you hear the piano building, you're like, no, don't be over, episode. Don't be over. No. And then it ends and you're like, no. Come back. Oh my goodness. I freaking love it. Freaking love it. Plus it has a fantastic ending. It ends actually really well. Really well. And again, of course, some ultraviolence, it is wrong. Oh my goodness. I freaking love that one. What other, like, is there other anime songs that I like go to or that I think about? I mean, okay. I don't know if you're allowed to count them as anime songs, but essentially the entire soundtrack of Initial D has been forever on a playlist that I've watched at some point. And Night on Fire is the best of those songs. Hold on. Back on the Rocks might be better. Doubt it beats Char's counterattack. Well, I cared to watch one of them multiple times, which would be Orphans. For as much, like, I have got a number of Gundams. I've got Tiny Wing. I've got Chibi Death Scythe. I've got Char's Zaku with a big cannon on a jump pod from Unicorn, I think. There's another Death Scythe. There's an Astray Gundam. I should put these back. They're gonna pile up. Shenlong Gundam. This is actually an ARX-7 Arbalest from my favorite show. Still technically a Gunpla. Full armor Unicorn. Yes, all Gunpla. I've got bigger Death Scythe. Can you tell which one's one of my favorites? Iron-Blooded Orphans with his big Oni axe, because he's a crazy little Gundam. Oh, wait, there's another. You gotta have a Chibi RX-78. Everybody's gotta have one of those. Put these back. Oh, goodness. I freaking love Gundam. I love building Gunpla. But I have more. I have a Gundam base limited Lupus Rex, because Iron-Blooded Orphans is my favorite. And then another, I have an ARX-7 Arbalest and an actual 124 that I need to put together at some point. I love Gundam, but UC, the Universal Century, kind of drives me nuts. Anytime I watch it. And I can't really tell you, why specifically. It's just always driving me nuts. Vinland Saga OP2 Dark Crow. Vinland Saga, you gotta watch. Everybody should watch Vinland Saga, but it's kind of like, yeah, I can see this being really good, but I also don't really want. It's like when you watch Game of Thrones. You're like, yeah, I can see this is gonna be a good show, but like I don't know if I want to watch it. It seems like it's gonna be long. Like that's the sense I get from Vinland Saga. You don't watch the actual OP2 if you've seen the first season. Vinland Saga has some good music. You prefer the first OP if you remember correctly. Shenlong, yes, the Shenlong Gundam from Gundam Wing. Not a fan of the newer themes. You like the older themes from 80s and 90s, except for Initial D, which, I mean, so technically the first Initial D was in 1998 for the first stage, but really it was more like a 2000s anime. But those are some fantastic themes. Back on the rocks, baby, you can take your time with me. I freaking love it. You're not a fan, you really loved ED1 Torches! Kido Senshi Gandamu. UC is the best. UC is the biggest with the most content, and I like Unicorn. The Unicorn Gundam is very interesting. It's got this cool dynamic to it. I like the back and forth that you get between Char and whatever Ding Dong's name is. But it, you know, you get into some of the UC stuff with like the new types, and it's like, oh, okay, so there's better people than other people. It drives me nuts a little bit. But there are good shows, I will say. Double O, being one of the best series in Gundam, for sure. Vinland Saga has a very solid ending after the first 2 seasons. Wait, does it actually end after the first 2 seasons? Serranos, you know how far the anime gets versus the manga. Pretty sure Vinland only has 1 season out. 0080 makes me cry every time. Exactly. Like I said, it's good. There's some really good stuff. But if I want to like get into a Gundam series and watch it and enjoy it, like, it's Orphans, it's Wing, it's 0080. It's kind of these like smaller self-contained stories. Thunderbolt, where like, yes, at some level there is the kind of the more the UC elements of like, well, they're just better, so they win. But at the same time, like with Thunderbolt, it's like, okay, now we're missing limbs so that we can be better at piloting with blood flow and everything. And you're getting into like Star Fox territory with that. With Wing, they have the example of they're made of Gundanium, so they're stronger. With Orphans, they have like a very specific reason that the pilots are better. Like, they've got that integration directly to their spine. That's so great about all that. I can't stand Setsun Seiya. Second season came out, and you definitely stopped with just the 2 seasons. Wing is less than UC. Okay. Those are words you said. I gotta say, if UC was better, why was Wing on Toonami? Those are facts right there. Oh, stupid. So everything around Setsun is interesting, but it's so boring. Wow, we're still talking Vinland Saga here. I can't believe it. Isn't he like Hero completely emotionless? When did season 2 come out? The best character in Wing is Duo Maxwell and Troa Barton. Those are like, if you give me a side sequel, a spin-off, a something where I get to follow Troa and Duo around, that would be amazing. But there's other shows that have done that, so I don't need you to make that, but I'm just saying, like, that character dynamic of the funny, outgoing, gonna get his mission done because he's great, but also kind of silly guy, paired up with the I'll get my mission done at all costs because it's just what I'm gonna do clown guy, like that's fantastic. I freaking love those two characters. Like just Troa and Duo make the team. We don't need anybody else in the game. Hero's an idiot. Like, they're like, he's been trained to do his job since he was a child. He's gonna complete his task no matter what. And he blows up his Gundam the second he lands. It's like, what? And then he's like, oh, I didn't blow it up good enough. I'm gonna throw a torpedo. You're like, shut up. Why are you the main character? Get out of here. Lifeform Setsuna just has no personality. It's just really dumb. The first to be dumb, it's a clone of OG Gundam, and Zex is a carbon copy of Char instead of the usual Char. He's a carbon copy instead of just a clone. Oh my goodness, nerd. Oh, I'm gonna refill here. I like the fresh and light Hakushka. I'm impressed. Usually a lot of these that clarify themselves as being like a fresh and light taste and have the 70% is a lot left on the grain, so it's probably just so much of the grain of rice that we're still getting through this. I am loving this. Just fantastic. No, E-Class, you said it wrong. It's nerd. You gotta have a few more E's in there. Oh my goodness. Zex is a carbon copy of Char instead of the usual Char clone. That's such a funny sentence to me. That would be like a defensive sentence in this. Like, just everybody's a Char clone in those series, which is why what was his name? Trace Kushernada is like the much better character. Back to your 64 retro. Thank you for hopping by. Thank you for challenging me. You got me close to raging, so congratulations. That I've had a few shouts before, but I feel like we were civil. I feel like we kept it civil. Next time, maybe I'll be on Restream and I can actually pop you in here and we can be word to word, and we may get a little more animated about all of this. See, we calling people nerds now. Y'all nerds for watching Gundam. Gundam is a great show. Baker's dozen of E's. Gundam is deep nerd. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with you all? All right, if you want to unnerd your mecha show, go Dana. This show is amazing. I freaking love Go Danner. It's about these two. They're a couple. They just got married. Literally episode 1. You can see from this promo, it's all double cheeked up on a Tuesday and ready to go clubbing, kind of as you look through the cast. But they have two mechs that become this one mech that's the Go Danner mech, and it is a sort of allegory for their relationship as a new couple, and it is amazing, hilarious. It's on High Dive. You have to watch Go Danner. This will take your mech and this will unnerd your mech. I promise you. Nerd is the first syllable of your name. Exactly. Have a good night. See you around. All in good fun. Always, always, always in good fun. And everybody should always remember, it's just jokes. Let's have fun. That's the point of our escapes. Sets in a discount. Mikatsuki. Gurren Lagann is Chad's mecha. Gurren Lagann as a Chad mecha, I don't see it. Like, it's a really good mecha, but you have got such a Shinji clone in Simone that it's just like you can't call it a Chad mecha when you get rid of the Chad character, and then you like without him, like it's not a Chad mecha. Like it's only a Chad because of that character. And it like this show, this is Chad mecha. This is dude with his wife who is going to combine with his wife to these are their robots to make better, bigger Robot Man. That is Chad mecha. Me and my wife who are going to become better and the Godanner to be able to fight off against the aliens. Him and his wife in her robot and their support team. Watch this one in dub. It's amazing and fantastic. You've got to watch Godanner if you're looking for a I'm probably going to not be able to scroll too much farther down these photos. Having sex is pretty Chad. Yeah. With the woman you love. Relationships with women. Sex, man. Oh my goodness. None of this Pacific Rim bullshit. We're getting a real combo mech up in here. Oh my goodness. No. Love After World Domination doesn't just have mech. Love After World Domination has a 14-piece combiner mech. Let me just remind everyone that the original Power Rangers suit was 5 pieces because there were 5 Power Rangers to pilot each piece. So what that means is that every single unit, like Robo unit in the Gelato 5 has an extra piece, and then 4 of them have another extra piece for some reason. So you have like the calf that also has the ship attached to it, but then that means there's also something else attached to the calf. So you've got multiple units making each body part. It is hilarious. It's fantastic. I cannot wait for the episode where we get introduced to more pieces of the mecha so we can make a crazy Mechazord gelato ice cream scoop. That is gonna be fantastic. That's gonna be awesome. I cannot wait for that. But until we get that, go watch Godanner. Godanner is amazing. The robots have everything we've been. Wait, how do I? Whoops, wrong one. This one. The robots have. Wow, why is that so dang blurry? We'll leave it blurry because it's funnier that way. The robots have everything we've talked about tonight in Godanner, so it's definitely a show you're gonna want to watch. And it's on High Dive. It's dubbed. Watch it dubbed. It's hilarious in the dub. Definitely do that. Gonna need a lot more members, yes, and they will get more members potentially. We saw. With Pistachio's hiring form where he's like, you could join the Gelato 5, could be 6. Like it said, like could be 6 is like a subtitle on his like you could join the Gelato 5 thing. So it's like they could put more members in so we can get a Gelato 14 and actually be able to make the combiner mech that they're going for. But we will have to see. We'll have to see how that shakes out. I'm guessing at some point we'll get a extra character that jumps into the Gelato 5 that is going to be the that interloper character where it's like he's a little too close to my man, you know, one of those kind of fights. Like Reaper Princess is gonna be a little upset that the new Gelato is a little too close to Fudo, and Fudo is gonna be too dumb to know that they're getting close because his only focus is Reaper Princess. He's like, I love Reaper Princess. What? Oh, hi, hello, how are you doing? And they're like hanging off him, and he doesn't even notice it because he only cares about Reaper Princess, so he can't notice when someone else is getting close to him or trying to get close to him. But then Reaper Princess is gonna get kind of upset by that. Like I hope we get to that episode. We get like a White Ranger. We get, we add something else into the mix to really throw it off. Because it was fun when we saw Pink Ranger getting close, and then Reaper Princess gets upset because now she feels like she's weak, even though she knows he's not gonna like cheat on her and stuff. But if we get someone who tries to actively pursue Fudo as like I want to get into this, I think that can make an interesting dynamic for the show to go in. Gelato 31 flavors, yeah. Baskin Robering. or basket birdie or something, like what would be the Japanese hilarious quote on that? They would find something, I'm sure, to parody 31 flavors. Have they done it before? Nothing that comes up immediately, but yeah, no, that would be hilarious. That would be fun. Just hilarious and fun, just like we're having tonight. Just a wonderful time, a blast of a time. We've got good sake, good friends, good chats, talking yokai, oppai, and anime that we love. Really fun to do this tonight. I had a couple things planned, and we ended up having some good discussions, I would say. So make sure you smash that like button if you enjoyed the show. Share this with your friends. You got someone who wants to get into anime, I'll get him into anime. Tell him this guy says he'll get you into anime even if you hate it, and I'll do just that. Share it with your friends on Instagram, Facebook, all that other stuff. Twitter, anywhere that you know somebody who's like, I hate anime. I'll change their mind just like Steven Crowder at a public college, and then we'll just go from there. So thank you everyone for hanging out tonight, chatting tonight. Had a blast. You really were able to round off this evening for me. It's been a great day personally in the Blaine's Escape house. So the Blaine's Escape corner is also equally happy today. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we will see you tomorrow for our Waifu Wednesday. Have a wonderful evening. Kanpai.